Hi there, I'm Joey.
I'm Jacob.
And we are watching Star Trek for the first time. Last time on Star Trek, what didn't happen, man? What didn't happen?
What didn't happen?
Today, you know what episode we're watching already. We're watching The Best of Both Worlds Part 2, obviously. I'm so excited to get into it. But also, this is the start of Season 4 for us. This is very exciting.
Yes.
It's such an incredibly exciting occasion for multiple reasons. Not just that we're starting the season that will take us through the halfway point of the Next Generation, but also something that I find personally significant is that this is our last season of Star Trek, our last full season of Star Trek, that the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, was alive for the entire production of. This will mark such a significant change, I think, for us as viewers, and I know he's only around for the first handful of episodes of Season 5, so I think to mark this occasion, I have something prepared here that I found a little bit ago that I think is really fascinating. A quote from Gene Roddenberry that he apparently gave towards the end of his life. He did a number of interviews as he was, I'm guessing, slowly dying. I don't know how long he knew. I don't know the details or anything. But there's a book I think that this comes from about his final interviews essentially. Mm-hmm. And I find that this quote is so particularly significant to us as viewers, the way we have viewed Star Trek, and speaks on certain things that we have commented on throughout these reviews and may have potentially gotten shit about throughout these reviews. So, from the man himself. Star Trek and Star Trek The Next Generation are television shows. When I say Star Trek, I'm often not talking about the shows, I'm talking about Dream World, my philosophy, the one I wanted to put on television. And I did, to a certain extent. I can't replicate my world on television because there are too many considerations involved. It has to make money. It has to comply with current society's standards of decency, today's values. We have to condemn them because society condemns them. I want Star Trek to do things that perhaps violate our notions of family structure, or male and female, or even life itself, and the next step up from that plateau and all the mistakes along the way. All the failures and triumphs. Oh no, I couldn't do that now. We're about to watch the first episode of Season 4, and I think for all the shit I've slung at this guy, I mean, come on.
It's interesting. Not even necessarily surprising to hear.
No, of course not. Of course not. We've seen that, I think, time and again throughout our Star Trek journey, and
I'm sure we've made comments about the concepts there.
Now, Gene Roddenberry, as we've also commented, is not this pinnacle of progressive ideas.
No, not to ill-read a comment that is quite lovely to hear, and I can understand what he's getting at.
Yeah.
But also, we've seen him not do that necessarily.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And is some of that what he said there? Maybe. Yeah. But he's also feeding into his own hype, I feel.
Oh, of course. Gene Roddenberry built his own myth, so, yeah, it is what it is. But I felt that particularly prescient going into this episode. But without further ado, I think be sure to join us. No, God, this happens every time we take a break between seasons, and I forget how to do intros and outros. So we're gonna get into post-episode thoughts in a second. Be sure to join us then. We're about to watch The Best of Both Worlds Part 2. Well then. I know it's not even his show in this episode, but Patrick fucking Stewart still turns in one of the best performances of the whole thing. Probably, maybe the best. Sorry, I think Frakes. We have to hand it to Jonathan Frakes in this one.
Yes.
As far as performances go, but Patrick Stewart's final look out that window at the end, just that look of just, I know fucking nothing. And he just feels, Picard's never felt, I think, lost as a character before.
Well, because he's always been so sure of himself. Even when he is wrong, he is very sure of himself.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that fascinating. You know what else I find fascinating?
What?
Some fucking lists.
I'm saying, if this isn't on any list, I would have been impressed.
To recap, Part 1 specifically was the second highest rated episode on IMDb ever. Part 2 in this case is the fourth highest rated episode on IMDb.
Okay.
However, the overall story for The Best of Both Worlds is ranked as one complete
as Part 1, Part 2.
On most lists.
As one story.
The Best of Both Worlds Parts 1 and 2 appears at number 5 on my friend John's list for overall Star Trek, number 3 on Screen Rant 2023's, and for Cinema Blend 2021, it is, to them apparently, the best story of Star Trek The Next Generation.
I can't even fault that opinion.
It might be my favorite.
This is, as a singular story, it's up there. I don't know if it's my favorite for sure.
It is especially tough now because we are like almost at the amount of episodes of like TOS we had watched.
Yeah.
So it's like there are a lot of really good ones to pick from. You know, like Best of Both Worlds would top a list, you know, if it were not for like say Measure of a Man or The Emissary or Heart of Glory, you know, things like that. That
just like, rock solid episodes that I can't so easily say, oh, this is the best.
Yeah, exactly. But my God, it is a great follow up to part one. I will say, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm used to this. Bit of a cheap resolution to the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Little.
Oh, they just stopped us from firing at them. Okay, cool. That's it. You know.
All right. I'm as Who fans.
I'm used to
a cheap cliffhanger.
I'm fine with a cheap resolution. That's okay. I can handle this.
It doesn't break the episode. No, obviously.
Of course not. But yeah, we have Captain Riker here. We have Jonathan Frakes taking on the role of Captain. We started having like Captain's logs said by Jonathan Frakes, and it's weird. It feels weird.
He gets a field promotion, a lot like how Wesley got the field promotion to ensign.
Yeah, I'll say the only point when like it feels like the episode is kind of pulling back on the stakes is when I keep saying Frakes, when Riker is assigning the new roles to him, and he's like, oh, nobody's role is going to change. There's going to be a new first officer, which is the only role that changed when I took over. So it's like you can easily see how they're going to undo it by the end. I would at least appreciate a bit more of a commitment to being like, Data's the first officer now,
Worf is the first officer. It doesn't matter. Pick
something
one.
Something like this. You know, I would just like, because realistically, we like there's not enough time in between for those positions to like really take effect or really like settle in. But at least if Riker as a character was treating the episode with a bit more like, oh, this is gonna be all undone by the end, I might have appreciated that a little bit more. Again, it's a small thing. It's something that doesn't really take away from the episode for me. But for when part one went so hard on the stakes, it does feel like part two pulls back a little, just a little bit.
But there are also times in the episode, especially at the end, Picard is fine. Well, he's physically fine.
Yeah.
They're both in the captain's in the ready room, and they're both acting captain-y.
Yeah.
And I thought back to earlier with Guinan when she says there can only be one captain.
Yeah.
And I wonder what kind of tension that can bring going forward.
Yeah.
I suspect not much.
We know Riker will not challenge Picard's command or anything like that. But I will be mostly curious to see going forward. And the point where the episode did not let up on its stakes is that like Picard's not okay. Like, things aren't actually the same now that he's back.
No. Things are very much wrong, actually.
Sure, we dealt with the Borg, I imagine, only for now. Sure, we dealt with the Borg. But Picard's not fine, you know? The crew is different, you know?
We know the crew... Like, we'll obviously trust Picard going forward.
Does he trust himself, though?
Yeah.
You know?
And we also know the crew will just trust Riker in a heartbeat if it came to it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also wondering, because here's one thing that I do know going into the next one, is that, like, I believe I've heard it's, like, an epilogue to Best of Both Worlds Parts 1 and 2. So I wonder if we're still going to be, like, on Earth in the next episode. I wonder if we're actually going to just, like, treat this as almost like a 3-parter, just being, like, just pick up literally where we left off.
I mean, it would be the time to do it. We're on Earth. We're at Earth.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that.
I thought as the episode was ending, Picard looking out the window going, how often is the view of the Enterprise Earth?
Yeah.
You know?
Is it home? You know?
Yeah, how often is it home?
Yeah, that is an interesting point, yeah. I love, oh god, I'm just going through my notes here. I love Riker in the ready room by himself. And he looks at the chair and he goes, what would you do? Just, oh god. Just a great fucking moment. Like I said, Frakes is on fire in this episode. Is this the first time we've ever heard William T. Riker? Is it now that he's a captain he has to refer to himself with his middle initial? Is he James T. Kirk? Is he...
I think we might have heard William T. Riker in really formal settings.
Yeah, it does sound familiar, because then I looked it up during the episode. I was like, oh, it's Thomas, apparently. Thomas is his middle name.
Like,
but I didn't know that. You know, like, I knew before I even watched Star Trek then that Kirk's full name was James Tiberius Kirk.
Yeah.
Which, what a stupid ass name.
But
I knew that.
I feel like if we have heard it before, it would have been like really formal settings where his full name, or just like William T. Riker stated out loud for a record would be relevant. The only thing I could think of would be, what is it, point of view?
A matter of perspective.
Matter of perspective.
Matter of perspective, yeah.
I could see it being said in that episode, because
Yeah.
he's being formally accused of something.
Mm-hmm. Another funny note I have here is the hood is safe.
The hood is safe.
Here's the thing. I think we joked on the videos before about the USS Hood. The Hood. It's called the Hood.
The Hood.
The Borg ship ravages these Starfleet ships.
A small fleet of ships that tried stopping them
Yeah.
at Sector 3 or something.
And they call it the names of a couple of ships, and they don't say the Hood. I'm going to assume the Hood is safe. As long as the Hood is safe, I'll be safe. So that's great. On that, I love the destruction of the Borg ship. I love that just how little effect anything else has on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see those, like, it is kind of a funny shot, but those 3 ships that like try to fly up to it to stop it, just 3
Pew,
beams,
pew, pew.
pews them right out of the fucking sky.
They
It's
come
great.
they come out of like Saturn or Mars, one of those two.
Yeah. And also the shuttle when Data and Worf get Picard back and they go to like transfer him away, they just barely get out of that shuttle before the Borg ship destroys it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
That was also a really dynamic space fight.
It was. You got the Enterprise split into its 2 halves. You got the shuttlecraft going towards there. There's a proper like Star Wars-esque space battle there. And here's the thing, like I don't want to I know sometimes Trek fans get mad when I compare certain things to Star Wars, but it's important to call out being 2 major sci-fi franchises.
Yeah, one will obviously influence the other.
Yeah, Star Trek does not often do the Star Wars type big space battle.
No, it doesn't.
Because despite being a show about the military, because Starfleet is the military.
It is the military.
Despite that, Star Trek always treats space combat like a last resort.
It is the last resort. The only time it wasn't a last resort was the time travel episode. The what if scenario.
Oh, yesterday's Enterprise. Yeah. Yep.
That was the only time we saw combat as the first response.
Yeah.
Because it was a wartime timeline.
Yeah.
This is theoretically a peaceful state.
Mm-hmm. One final note I did want to bring up here, because I brought it to you during the episode, and I thought it was fascinating, is during that battle, Wesley, I thought was really interesting. I'm really noticing the change in Wesley, because now, late last season we had him being a proper ensign and having the uniform and everything. And now, I think in the first 3 seasons, it would be like a big hem and a haw, like, oh yeah, you're not going to go on the half of the ship that is likely to get destroyed in this
the half of the ship that is definitely getting the Borg's attention.
But there he is. There's no question about it. Wesley is on that half of the ship. He's helping them be the distraction for the shuttlecraft to get Picard out.
Yeah.
And it's possible that half of the ship just gets destroyed, and he's just fucking there. And it's fucking great. It's a great, it's an unstated piece of character development, but it's totally there, and it really works. And I love that. And I love this episode. Obviously.
This was a great episode, yes.
Yeah, it is truly, these 2 episodes have been a momentous occasion in The Next Generation, and I would assume just an indication of things to come. I'm very excited going forward.
I like to think it's an indication.
Yeah. What a season premiere. Every season premiere is like this from this point on. Every season, I believe, ends on a part 1, and the next season begins with a part 2. So this is just the standard going forward.
I hope they're all worth it.
I think the other 90s shows do that as well. I think Deep Space Nine and Voyager do that as well. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen that, though. Anyway, I think that about does it. Thank you all oh so very much for watching. Be sure to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/bloodedstudios. I know how to speak. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to join us next time when we continue Star Trek The Next Generation. Until then, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.